Okay, I'm back at the sewing machine today. It's August the 23rd.
23rd.
Okay, that's my mom's birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's Virginia's birthday here at the shop.
Yeah, it is. So, anyway, have to remember my mom today. Maybe I'll put a picture of her on my Facebook page. But anyway, I'm here because I've got to start a new project. And this is my new project. This is some new fabric from French General, and you can say it as any way you want to. Right there it is. What would your guess be, Kathy?
La Tuileries.
La Tuileries.
Well, you know, we're Hoosiers, so we're going to say La Tuileries. It's that pretty red and white one.
It is. It's very pretty. It's got some gray tones in it. But anyway, I get to make the sample, so I've been... the patterns aren't even ready yet. I got this picture. That's what I got. I got this picture. So that was kind of fun. But I figured it out, and I need to make this block right here. I need to make 48 of just this color. Now there's other color combinations that I have to make, but of this colorway I have to make 48. Okay, so that's interesting. So I got my Tri-Rex tool.
This sounds like a dinosaur.
I know it does, doesn't it? This is the Tri tool. Tri because 3 sides. And then my Rex tool. See that?
Got it.
Rex and Tri. So Tri-Rex. Well, let's do it this way. It's not the Rex Tri, it's the Tri-Rex tool. Now, this is not a ruler. People get confused sometimes. They think these specialty things are rulers. These are templates. Templates are when you cut your fabric out to match the acrylic shape. Okay. Rulers are what you use to measure things with.
Aha, okay? There you go.
So that's a little tip for you. I don't know if you need to know that, but sometimes it's fun to know the difference. So with this ruler, you get the instructions, of course. I don't know what I did with them, but anyway, we have these here at the shop, and it's an awesome ruler, and it makes a block all the way as big as 6.5. So from 1 inch to 6.5 inches, you can get that size block. I'm going to make a 3.5 inch block, which is going to finish 3 inches. Okay, so what I do is I cut my strips however big I want my block. So these strips are cut 3.5 inches. Okay, so when I lay my template down, can you see here's the 3.5 inch line, that solid line right there? Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay my ruler, and I have 4 layers of fabric underneath me. I just took my strip and I folded it in half, so now I have 4 layers. I'm gonna lay that on there. I'm gonna get my rotary cutter. If you haven't changed your rotary cutter blade in a while, this might be a good day to do it.
Oh, that reminds me. I got to get some today.
You do? Okay.
I buy them in the packages of 5.
Yeah, that's the best way.
Because,
that's,
you know,
good deal.
It is a
so anyway, I'm going to cut there. And then I'm going to turn my tool. Line it up with the 3.5 line. Line the side up. I have these grippy things on my ruler.
I like the grippy things.
I mean, not my ruler, but my tool. See how it doesn't move?
It's very nice.
It's very nice. We have those here at the shop, all different kinds. And then, so just with a few cuts, I'm able to get quite a few. Like I said, I have to make 48. So here's 4.
But you did 4 times 3, you did 12 right there.
12, and I did 4 earlier.
Yeah, so that's
so out of 1 strip, I got
12.
16.
3, 4. Oh, that one too. Yeah, so 16.
16 of my Tri. And now I'm going to make my Rex. Now, for the Rex, I'm going to take my fabric just like it comes off the bolt, which is wrong sides together. Now, it's hard to tell that this has a wrong side, but you can see this piece is a little bit lighter than the top. So wrong sides together just like it comes off the bolt. This is just how I cut it right off the bolt. And again, I'm going to put it right on my 3.5 inch mark. Make sure that's there. And I'm going to cut up the side. And then, can you see, Cappy, right there is a little cut.
Little nub.
That little nub is very important.
Yes, it is.
Okay? And I'm going to show you why when we go over to the sew machine. But now I just turn my tool. Now, if you had one of them rotary,
Martelli mats.
Rotelli mats.
Martelli.
Did I say Rotelli?
You said Rotelli, which is fine.
That's a food.
That's a
isn't it?
food.
Or a mouse.
Or a
What was that mouse's name on that movie?
Oh,
Wasn't
I know
his
the one you're
name
talking
Rotelli?
about. I think it was, something
I
like
don't
that.
know. Anyway, so then I'm going to go here and I'm going to move this aside and I'm going to cut that little nubbin off again.
Yeah, and you don't want to have to go back and do that. You've got to do it
No,
then.
you've got to do it right while you have the thing. So now this gives me a lefty and a righty. See that?
Mm-hmm.
I need a lefty and a righty because when I lay my centerpiece down.
Well, now look at the nubs. Now they can see the nubs.
Now you can see the nubs, but that doesn't make any difference right now until I show you why the nubs are there. So let's go over to the sewing machine.
Okay.
Take my shoes off, turn my sewing machine on. I had it on earlier, but... Okay, now, I don't know why this is, but the instinct is to put the little end with the little end.
Yes.
That's just the instinct that we
is.
have.
It's because we've done them.
If you would go ahead and set that up on your board, you'll notice that the big end of the Rex and the little end of the try, they go together to make a square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up my center and I'm going to lay this over. Now you can see why the nubbin is so important. There has to be a 1/4 inch hangover on each end. Well, it has, like, look down here. See, that has to be a 1/4 inch, and this has to be a 1/4 inch. Well, that little notch just helps me find my 1/4 inch. See that?
It's perfect.
Isn't that nice? So now I can sew that together. And what I would do at home is I'd have 48 of these all stacked up, you see. And I'd just take them and I'd just go do, do, do. And I'd sew one. And then I'd pick up another one. I'd lay that down. Now I'm not pinning because it's 3.5 inches. And I don't have any seams. If I had a seam, I would pin. But I'm not going to pin this. And I would do that 48 times. Do, 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 do. Okay?
Chain stitching.
Chain piecing, whatever. All right. Then I'm going to cut that out of my machine and cut this. Then I'm going to go over and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the tool that shall not be named. Now, today, I was watching a video, and somebody just had a wooden one, you know? And the wooden ones are nice if all you're going for is a flat seam.
Right.
Okay? But the reason that I love this one so much and that we're waiting patiently until the lady can get the wool, the reason that I love this one so much is because I love to open my seams. And this just helps me do that. And then I can lay the wood on it and it can do its job by making it flat. But opening the seam with this wool curved surface helps open up and makes my seam perfectly open. See? there's no overlap on that fabric. It doesn't take very long to absorb the heat. Now I'm going to do the other side. Now pretend I have 48 of these.
And, you know, it's kind of fun because they're almost like a little banner. I always feel good when I pull up a long banner of chain stitched something that's just been chain pieced that I can just go, oh, look at all these I made.
Yeah.
And they go faster that way.
Oh, it does go very fast.
Lots faster.
And, yeah, you feel like you've really achieved a lot. And cutting them apart is fun. If you have kids, they love to do that. And I just want to emphasize how that little notch helps you get it in the right position.
It is dreamy.
Because when we open this up and I go to square it up, you're going to see why that's important. Remember, squaring up is probably one of the most important things that you can do to make your quilt precise and all fit together like a jigsaw puzzle.
You know, I'm working on the Stitch Pink.
Oh yes,
quilt,
the new one for
new
22.
One for 22, and it has lots of little cuts and shapes and little 4.5-inch squares that turn into, you know, they start out as 1.5-inch squares. I mean, it's lots of little pieces. And if I hadn't squared them up, that quilt would be such a mess. So yeah, squaring up is, matter of fact, several of them, as I was squaring them up, I couldn't believe how far off they were. But once I squared them up, they were right on. Yep. So it was wonderful.
Now, you know, when you're squaring up, if you're cutting off a big bunch, you know you've done something wrong. When you're squaring up, you're usually only just trimming off a little bitty bit.
Yeah.
Now, let me show you how that was so important here. See how now my point is down 1/4 inch? Had I not moved that into position so that I would have this extra 1/4 inch here, then when I sewed this in, I would be sewing it, if I didn't have that, I'd be sewing my tip right off. And you don't want tipless triangles, do you?
No. The pyramids, when they were original, I'm sure had nice sharp points. That's what we want.
Right. So, now I'm going to square it up. And to square up a block, you need a square ruler. Don't be trying to square up your block with your rectangle ruler. No, it doesn't work as good, okay? So we know this is supposed to square up to 3.5 inches. So what's half of 3.5? Well, that would be 1 3/4, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to lay my point at 1 3/4, and I'm going to, my ruler, just so happens, I love these Creative Grid rulers. Look at how I have 1/4 inch mark right there. So I know I'm right on. There's 1 3/4, and then there's my 1/4 inch. You can kind of see that I'm going to have to tilt it a little bit because my bottom is not flat or parallel with my ruler. Okay, and all I'm going to trim off, look, is that itty bitty piece there. Up this side a little bitty piece, and up that side a little bitty piece.
And those are bias pieces you're sewing, so they're going to want to shift.
And now I'm going to flip that, and I'm going to put this right on the 3.5 because that is my desired block size. There's hardly any. And then that's going to get rid of those little dog ears or bunny ears or whatever ears you want to call them.
Looky there.
And there's my block.
Isn't she pretty?
Isn't she pretty? So I'm going to add her to my stack. Where'd my other one go? Now, for some reason, it's an optical illusion. They don't look square, do they?
They don't.
They kind of look elongated, but they're not. They're perfectly square. So let's square this one up again. Yeah. Let's square this one up. We start out with our 1/4 inch, then we go to our 1 3/4. We make sure everything's looking good. Looking good! Like the Cookie Monster.
We like cookies here.
We do.
It's our birthday week too. Our official birthday is Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, we're going to have a sew-in here with all the employees. That's going to be a fun time.
It's a secret for the staff. Don't tell everybody.
Yeah, don't tell any of the staff. But
Yeah. They might get a present. You never know.
They might.
They work hard. They deserve a present.
Okay, so there you go. Now I'm 3, and I got 45 more to go.
Gosh, and that was 15 minutes.
I mean, it was hardly any time at all.
Cutting and done.
Yeah.
15 minutes. That's
So,
great.
and now that I know I can get 16, I know how many strips to cut.
Mm-hmm.
16 and 16 is what, 30? So I need to
32.
cut 3 strips.
Yeah, 32. Right. Yeah, 3
So
strips.
3 strips for that. So excellent. That's the Tri-Rex tool.
Love
Tri and Rex.
It's not a dinosaur.
No, it's a tool. It makes up to a 6.5-inch block. I don't know. There's probably other templates out there that make this block, but I don't think that they're as versatile as this because it goes all the way up from a 1-inch to a 6.5-inch. Just so happens that this particular pattern took a 3.5-inch. Well, so I didn't have to go out and buy another set of templates because it was specific to one size. So that's what makes this tool so nice. It's reasonably priced. It's under $20. We have them in stock here, so if you want to get on the website or if you want to come in and if you think you might be interested in making this, I forget when the fabric's coming, probably not till next year sometime.
Yeah, I think it's
like February or something
probably
like
February.
that. The new French General fabric, and this is going to be one of the patterns that we're going to focus on. And look at how many of those Tri-Rex blocks there are. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, and it just goes all the way through the whole quilt. So I'm going to be doing me a lot of Tri-Rexes, so I thought I would share that with you today at the Sew Machine. Alrighty? You have a good week. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.